Brownsville Congressman Filemon Vela had a chance to tour some of the holding tanks for the illegal immigrants down here and is our guest right now on 710 KURV. Congressman, good morning. What did you see? What did you see? When did you see it? What was it this past weekend?
Well, on Friday, Congressman Hossa and the ranking member on the Homeland Security Committee, Benny Thompson, and I toured the facility in McAllen. And on Saturday, Senator Lucio, Congressman Hossa's leader Pelosi, and Stephen Horcher from Vegas toured the facilities in Brownsville. And what we saw was strikingly similar. There are more people in the McAllen facility because it's a bigger facility, but both are, I would say, well over capacity. When you walk into, if you can imagine walking into a building, there's a process center in the middle with the folks that are working with CBP processing each of these individuals by computer. But behind that, there's room after room after room of, I would call them pods. I'm not very good at numbers, but I would say maybe, 20 feet by 30 feet. And
Mm-hmm.
there's about 20, anywhere averaging 15 to 25 miners in each of those places. There's
Still
a glass
very
window,
packed.
and you're looking in, and it's pretty drastic.
All right. And what change in policy, in your mind, what change in policy needs to take place up in D.C. to slow this flood of illegal immigrants coming in right now?
Let me add one more thing on what we saw, because it's just hard to forget. But one of these minors, a 7-year-old child, had been diagnosed with H1N1, and they had him quarantined. And that poor kid was in a pod, much smaller than the others, all alone. And as you're walking through, he's banging on the glass, crying out for help, and it's just really a tough deal. But to answer your question, I still have many questions myself, and we're going to continue to analyze this. We have a Homeland Security hearing this week in McAllen.
Yeah.
But for sure, given what I've seen, we need to provide additional support from the processing standpoint for the people working at Customs and Border Patrol. I mean, when you have 300 to 400 people coming through every day, and just so many people to handle it, it's very, very clear to me that we've got to give them, a whole lot more support and manpower to help them during this processing crisis that we've got down there.
Brownsville Congressman Filemon Vela, our guest on 710 KURV.
And Congressman Tim Sullivan here.
Hey, Tim.
Hey, are you supportive of a proposed change in policy that would fast-track Central American immigrants? In other words, the policy change that would treat Central American immigrants, children included, like we do Mexican immigrants in terms of the deportation policy?
Yeah, I heard about that overnight. I haven't had a chance to take a look at that. For now, and then I'll be doing that here over the next week. 85% of these children that are coming over here are coming with the to be reunited with family. 50% of those parents that are already here. Another 35% with other family members. The devil's in the details. I need to see it. I need to take a look at what's being proposed, and we just haven't had a chance to do that. We should be briefed today on that.
So what was your assessment from this weekend after meeting with House Minority Leader Nancy Pelosi? Do you get a feeling that Congress is going to be accommodating to our needs? And what was your message to her that you hope that she brings back to Washington?
Well, I've got a lot of messages, but one message that I really want to drive home is that currently we are certainly witnessing a symptom of the of several crises here there on the home front. But 85% of these kids are coming here to be reunited with parents that aren't necessarily in Texas. They're all over the country. I mean, some of the agents that we've talked to were telling us that when they ask them where are you headed, many of these kids are saying places like North Carolina, New York, Virginia. So I think it's important for people around this country to understand that this is an issue that affects everybody, and that this is not just a problem confined to the border.
Congressman Henry Cuellar is very quick to shoot from the hip and say, you know what, these kids, they came here illegally, and we need to find a way to process them and send them back quickly. He didn't even blink when he said that. It sounds to me you're a bit more hesitant in saying something like that. Am I correct in that assessment? I mean, are you okay with all these kids staying?
I respect Congressman Cuellar tremendously, and we work together very well. I wouldn't say I'm hesitant. I'm just a bit more cautious, and I'd like to be more familiar with the process before I really render an opinion, because I don't know what the proposal is yet, because it just got laid out overnight. They haven't even sent us details on it.
Congressman Cuellar hasn't commented on this particular fast-track deportation proposal yet either. It'd be interesting to hear what he has to say.
You're going to be part of that U.S. Homeland Security Committee that meets in McAllen this week. Am I correct?
Yes, Sergio, and they're going to open it up to non-committee members. This should be a very interesting hearing. I think the House Judiciary Committee is coming in Wednesday as well, and I understand that some of those members of that committee may participate in our hearing too.
All right. Congressman Vela from Brownsville joining us on 710 KURV.